Our country is reeling right now from unthinkable acts of violence, systemic racism, and widespread neglect. It feels as if we are unraveling as we witness tragedies at the hands of individuals and violence at the hands of police. But in these unstable times, when we are feeling so unmoored, we can take a step back and realize we can create the world we want. A world where the barriers to justice are taken down and possibility is made real. We want safe communities, ripe with opportunity and free from racial and economic segregation. We want employment, public transportation that will get us there, educational equity, and affordable housing. We want public spaces where the street lights work and the community gardens thrive. This is the vision that we can see, that some of us have, that all of us want, and that everyone deserves. But when we look across our country, at our cities and our suburbs and our rural areas alike, this vision feels so out of reach for so many. Despite being one of the wealthiest countries in the world, hopelessness and abandonment abounds. And we know why. This has happened because instead of investing in our people and their potential, we have relied on police and prisons to address poverty and crime. Instead of tackling racism and abandonment, we have entrenched segregation through redlining and highways built to divide. Instead of caring for our most vulnerable, we find ourselves passing them on the streets without regard for their humanity. Now, you may ask, why is the deputy legal director of the ACLU starting here when our country is facing an existential crisis, when the structures of democracy are being threatened, when the Supreme Court is abandoning precedent and erasing justice, liberty, and equality from the law, when Congress is immobilized, and while some say we are on the brink of a civil war? And truly, there are battles to be fought on all of these fronts, and we are in the courts fighting them every day. At the ACLU, we cover the waterfront, from voting rights to immigration rights, to reproductive rights, to racial justice, and so much more. We are here for all of it. But right now, with you, I want to focus on investing, and I want to give it due time. Because in the struggle for jobs, not jails, for people, not prisons, and for care and not cages, we are standing up for what democracy was designed to provide. By manifesting that purpose, that investment in people and communities, it's one of the surest ways to safeguard democracy's survival. All right, now the challenges are many, but we already know what works. Safety begins with measures to prevent and mitigate crime, alternate first responders, violence interrupters, diversion, long-term mental health care treatment, substance abuse disorder treatment, wrap-around services. Opportunity begins with the structures of hope, affordable housing, equitable education, employment opportunities, and job training programs. Security begins with our built environment, clean and consistent water that flows, green spaces that foster community, and transportation that connects us. Justice begins with targeted approaches that squarely address systemic racism and that take on intentional disenfranchisement. So how do we start? Well, we start small to change big. As disillusioned as we may feel right now, we lean in now more than ever at the zoning committee meeting to advocate for that building with the affordable housing units to get built. At the school board meeting to fight for the support that our children deserve free of a school to prison pipeline. At the city council meeting to call for budgets that reflect our values. At the library commission meeting to advocate for mental health treatment for our homeless. And at the small business enterprise commission to ensure that Black businesses are included in loan opportunities. And after we leave these meetings, we ensure that we are heard in the public square to speak about true justice, to be heard on creating opportunity, to exercise this right often and loudly. Now, this room, it is so important that I make sure you know that I understand that a fundamental part of my role at the ACLU is to protect everyone's rights to be heard, to speak out, to mobilize, to assemble. That will never change. That is central to my charge. But that means I'm protecting your rights as well. And it is imperative that your voice be heard, lest it be drowned out by those who do not agree with you and who are not relenting at all. Now, this room is full of passionate people who want to make the world a better place. That's why we are all here. And protecting your rights to demand investment and to advocate for inclusion is not an easy lift. The right to assemble is controversial, it is misunderstood, and it is often overlooked. But that doesn't mean we will stop protecting it. That's not going to happen, not on our watch. So let's make a deal. I will do my part so that you can do yours. Our vision for a future that everyone deserves for the strength of our democracy is clear. Together, we can bring it to life. Thank you.